people who are in their 80s and 90s are having a new lease in life, and also people younger than that, like me. Why people who have had really drastic health challenges, frightening, terrifying health challenges, are able to come back and have the life that they always dreamed of and have it even better than before. So today I want to introduce you to two really dear friends. Janine Mills is a very talented realtor in Miami and an interior designer and a doll and a good friend. And I'm so thrilled to have you with us. Hi, Janine.
Thanks, Susan. Good to be here.
Look at that glowing, gorgeous face. And really, truly. And Marci, who is a new friend and such a doll. And Marci and my friend Carol are the reason that I'm here today. Carol introduced me to the products. Carol introduced me to Marci. And Marci is a rock star, a superstar with Lifewave. So everything I know about these products and why I'm using them is because Marci taught it to Carol, Carol taught it to me, and Marci is also teaching me. So welcome, Marci.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here tonight with you, Susan.
It's really, really wonderful. So I want to start with Janine, because Janine, what was it about the conversation you and I had in July? And I don't mean 4 years ago in July. I mean just this July. You know, our lives are totally different. What was it that excited you, and what have you seen? Please tell us.
Well, you know, you were talking about amateur athletes, weekend warriors, and I fell into that camp. I was an amateur ballroom dancer with a terrible, really career-ending elbow injury. So I had surgery, I was in a lot of pain, and actually I was losing the function of my right arm, if you can imagine, just the most basic things. I was in excruciating pain, and all I really wanted to do was feel normal and dance again. That's what I've loved since I'm 5 years old. So when Susan, thank goodness, called and said, I think I have something for you. I was like, really? And I jumped, I said yes, I went for it, and I'm really glad that I did. Still rehabbing it, but I'm dancing, you know, at home since we have the pandemic. But I do my little, you know, my video classes, and I feel great. I feel fantastic. So thank you.
Fabulous. That's, you know, that's why we do this. You know, that's why we tell our friends. That's why we tell our relatives. That's why we tell the people that we love. You know, I say that I went through the list of the 20 or so people I really love, who I want to be sure are here for the rest of my days. And of course, Janine and my cousin Carol, you're on that list. And Jeff and Sue. So yeah, that's why we're here. And Marci, you are committed to healing the world. And I agree. Tell us about that, please.
Yeah, you know, why not? Why can't we heal the world physically, spiritually, and emotionally? For me, 2 years ago, breast cancer survivor, stage 3, and I was a really sick girl. I didn't know what side I was going to be on. And my good friend, Dr. Rhonda Donahue, PhD in nutrition, owns a clinic in Costa Mesa, California for 20 years, said, Marci, I found stem cell activation patches. And she showed it to me, and they look like a Band-Aid, Susan. And I'm like, what is this? And she goes, I'm not sure what we have our hands on, but it could be one of the biggest things ever. Yeah, and it looks like that. And she goes, wear it 12 hours on below the back of your neck, and then 12 hours off, and let's see what happens. First 2 days, I actually had the taste of metal coming out of my mouth from the 9 months of chemo. Day 5, my skin was so soft. And by day 10, the PTSD that this was coming back was gone. I knew I was living. I called her up and I said, I don't know what you just gave me, but you know that we have a unique ability to share this with the world. It happens to be our gifts. I did not think I was doing this again, but we have to, because we can heal so many people. And so we did. We just started gifting like you did, Susan, to the people you love. I did the same thing. And today we are healing over 4,000 families in 1 year. And that's because this non-invasive stem cell activation patch is doing the work. It's going to where your body needs to repair. It's turning into what you need it to be, and it's repairing. And it just is doing it. And so thank you for asking. And yeah, I'll tell everybody about it.
That's so beautiful. And I want to remind you guys, non-chemical, non-drug, non-stimulant, which is amazing, and non-transdermal. That means it's not something that's on the patch that is going into your skin like nicotine patches. It's not like that at all. This is as revolutionary as, you know, spaceships to the moon compared to a bullock cart in the 15th century. That's how remarkable this is. You can't understand this with the old mind of drugs, medication, side effects.
And let me tell you, let me add to that, because you're so right. This is not a medication. This is light. When you put this, it's made of organic crystal, which is basically amino acids, salt, and water. And when you put this on the heat of your skin, right, it actually activates a light wave, and that activates a protein, GHK copper peptides, which activate your stem cells. It's like when you go outside in the sun and the ultraviolet light wave, which is a lot shorter, elevates your vitamin D. This is all light. This is not biological. We are way moving past that.
So beautiful.
So
Thank
true.
you. And now, speaking of the patches, Janine, I know like me and like Marci, you got excited about the X39, the stem cell rejuvenation patch, and then you said, what else is there? So tell us about the other one that you're wearing as well.
Well, I just happen to have them here. So I use carnosine and glutathione because for years, you know, again, as a weekend warrior, sort of pseudo athlete, I was a big believer in antioxidants. So carnosine is, well, David Schmidt, the inventor, called it the most miraculous antioxidant that nobody's ever heard of. It's really good for recovery, longevity. And then glutathione, I think most of us have heard of glutathione. And they're like dance partners. They work really well together. And I've just found that I can push harder in the gym. I can push a lot harder when I'm rehabbing my elbow. And I don't need the recovery time. In the past, I would be knocked out the rest of the day after I worked out. And I needed like 2 to 3 days between workouts. And it was just getting longer and longer that I needed the recovery as I'm getting older. So that's been a dramatic turnaround. And then the last thing is you could try taking glutathione or carnosine as a supplement, but you know, once it goes through your stomach acids, you don't have the absorption. So this is a really painless, easy way. You're not taking a bunch of supplements for detox, you know, so I love it.
Thank you. That's so perfect. And of course, you know, you could see all mine, the different ones. I love them.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, Marci, one of the really inspiring things I heard from you is you had a friend who suddenly had a financial crisis.
Yeah.
Tell us, really tell everyone how knowing about the Lifewave patches saved her life, changed her life.
Yeah, you know, we started sharing the patch. I like to say we didn't find the patch found us, and that seems to be over and over and over again. And because the patch works and is healing, there is financial safety that is being created for people. But make no mistake, that financial safety comes because we're healing the world with a new technology that is not just changing lives, like healing us, but have you noticed how pretty our skin is and our hair? Like we're healing and becoming more beautiful at the same time. And I'm not kidding, okay? So with that, right, with that comes financial safety. And I'm gonna talk about my dear friend Mariah. She lost her husband last year and we have been friends forever. She lives in Alaska. And she literally thought everything would be okay because he was in the military and he had a pension and that would come down to her. When he passed away, there was some weird things in administration and she got none of the money, like just gone. And she has a mortgage. And she was literally starting this business when she found out she had no retirement from the military to pay her mortgage. And her oil bill. Do you know how cold it is in Alaska? I was so worried about her. And she was going to have to start substitute teaching, trying to make enough money to pay. And then COVID, right? Substitute teaching, really? With COVID? Like, it was a mess. But then the patch was doing the work. We started working really hard. And now she makes her mortgage every week. She makes enough to pay her mortgage every week now. And that is financial safety. And that's because we started this business a year ago. And thank you for asking, because, you know, it's about healing, but it's also about financial stability for the people we love, right?
And also there are people who need to know that they can do the business and therefore pay for their patches. They need to know that. You know, they don't want to have more expenses every month, but they're not going to be willing to live without the patches. So there are so many solutions. And I've talked to some of my friends about that and they're really thrilled. It's really true. Okay, next, for the athletes. For the weekend warriors like you, Janine, and for the full-time warriors like, you know, many people that we know. Jeff and Sue, you're going to show a few pictures of athletes who use the patches. And then, Marci, you're going to talk about the fact that we have these anti-doping letters that prove that this is so completely safe. So this is really beautiful. Why don't you talk about some of these people, Marci, and then when you're ready, Jeff will show the anti-doping letters.
Absolutely. You know, what is amazing is how many professional athletes love Lifewave. I don't know if you recognize some of these, but there is basically David Beckham right in the middle with the two patches on his chest. That's energy. Okay. Did you know that one time Tim Duncan was shown with a patch right on his chest when he was playing basketball for the San Antonio Spurs? And somebody on the announcement said, "What's that on Tim's chest?" And later on, there was an article saying, "We found out it's these Lifewave patches." And it was so cute. And Sean May, he was the MVP for the NCAA basketball tournament. He had them on. I mean, and you can see so many professional athletes that are wearing the patch. But you know what? Professional athletes,
here's mine.
right? They don't wear the patch if it doesn't work. Okay? You have to remember these athletes are at 20 times the speed and endurance and the recovery that we are. I mean, Janine knows as a ballroom dancer, they have to find things that work to keep them at that elite level. So look, they have. And what was fascinating is that, I mean, we have passed, and I don't know if you want to put up those letters, but this blew me away.
Yeah, just for a minute, just to show that we have them. Anyone can ask. So we're happy to send them to you.
So here's the interesting story, okay? Back in the day, David, our owner, CEO, and inventor, put patches on the Stanford women's swimming team. And they all performed so good that year that other competitors were like, "Oh, those must be illegal substances." And they actually turned the team into the United States Doping Agency with the idea of showing that these Stanford girls had prohibited substances in those patches. And guess what? There was none, because you know what? We are non-transdermal. We elevate with light. And so we're not putting any bad substances in athletes' bodies. And that's what this says. So much so that the anti-doping agency, the World Anti-Doping Agency, which is called WADA, came out and said LifeWave patches do not fall under any of the world prohibited substances. So there is nothing, no, they're not on the prohibited substance list because there's nothing bad in them that is prohibited. So I thought that was
Beautiful.
pretty amazing. Yeah.
That's really huge. Now, for those of you who are older or who have friends who are, let me tell you what I noticed the second day that I put the X39, the basic stem cell patch on. I had been trying to solve a trademark issue for my company for 3 months. I was too annoyed with myself. I wasn't going to hire an attorney for an enormous amount of money to deal with it because I've got 2 trademarks. And I couldn't figure out the site myself. And I couldn't think of another option. So I just put it on the floor and I would walk by the pile every day and I'll say, well, I'll get to it. I put the patch on the very first day, that was July 2nd. And I said, I'm giving myself 1 more day. So July 3rd, right? I said, this is it, Susan. You're solving this problem. You have more mental focus, which was true. I had more energy, which was true. I felt much more upbeat about everything. I mean, I really felt like Superman or Supergirl. I sat down and within 15 minutes, I figured out exactly what to do and I did it. Now, that's remarkable. I didn't have any cognitive problems. I didn't have any issues that I noticed or anyone else would have noticed. I'm talking about just basic improvement. How much faster my brain was working, how much more focused I was, and this level of determination. And I would imagine that each of you, and you're much younger than I am, you're different, ages, different decades, but I'm sure that each of you has seen something like that, right? Janine, do you have anything you noticed particularly?
Well, you know what? I found for me, it just gave me my edge back. And I don't even know that I was really consciously aware that I had, kind of didn't have as much oomph as I did before, but the contrast is really something else. For example, this week I had a client, I was doing a website for him, but he wanted it in a week. He had 1,000,001 changes. I was up till 1 or 2 o'clock every night, up early, driving back and forth. And on my way home one night, I said, maybe I'll go for a run on the treadmill when I get back. I had so much energy. And I said to myself, I feel like a college kid again. I felt like I was back at Yale. I don't know. It's the biggest gift, honestly, to be my age, which I'm not going to say, and to have that level of energy, but it feels really great.
Thank you. And the baby of the group, Marci, what have you noticed about focus?
We are just moving all the time in this business. And what is amazing to me is that I can do 20 things. I'm not even kidding. Some of you know, I do 20 things at one time right now in this business. And Kathleen knows. The big joke now is I can do everything in the 3-minute plan. And I can't, okay? And that's because of this darn thing. And Susan, I just have to say, your skin and your hair is gorgeous. Like, what is going on with your beauty? Like, really, it's amazing.
And the youthfulness that keeps getting better and better and better. So it's just remarkable. But wait till you hear about Janine's mother. That's the most enchanting, inspiring, touching story. I just can't wait to meet your mother, Janine. So tell everybody what she's experiencing.
So for my mother, she's had a life-changing experience because for years like a lot of people, she suffered from just debilitating pain, difficulty working. It had gotten to be such a drain on her that, it was affecting her her mental state, her well-being. I mean, she just wasn't happy, honestly. And who would be when you have pain every day, day in, day out? And so I had listened to David's presentation. He talked about different things, David, the inventor, David Schmidt. And I said, I'm going to try those for my mother if they work for me. And so once I had my own results, I ordered some for my mom. She put the patch, she didn't even wait for me. She put the patches on before her, and I was like, call me right away. She had already done it. And I said, well, how do you feel? And she said, I have no pain. And she said she felt normal for the first time in a long time, just to feel normal. So she's still using the patches, and I'm just really grateful.
You know, the thing that is so inspiring about that is I honestly believe that if people knew that they could live a life without pain, if they knew that they could live a life with a functioning brain, memory, intellect, if they knew that they had this, they would all want to live to be 100. And we now know, because carnosine lengthens the telomeres, which determines longevity. The X39 heals, restores, repairs the stem cells throughout your body, 3,000 to 4,000 cells per day, and on, all the different patches. There are many patches. They do different targeted things. And by the way, the Alavita is just for skin. So if you're an older person and you don't want to look and feel that way when you look in the mirror, boom, Alavita as the add-on. But I spoke to my 93-year-old aunt today, who is going to be receiving the patches in 7 to 8 days. And again, people are finding it hard to believe. Is it possible I can live without pain? Yes. I injured myself about 3 weeks ago. I was in excruciating pain, excruciating. Nothing helped. I had 5 chiropractic appointments, and I love chiropractic, but it didn't stop the pain. I put 2 of the Eon patches next to each other, what we call kissing, on my shoulder blade, and within 2 minutes, I had 0 pain, 0 discomfort, 0 anything but relief, and truly, like, I wanted to drop to my knees and thank God. It was unbelievable. So I'm telling each of you, I know Marci, I know Janine, this is real. You can have the life you dared to dream sometimes, but really didn't believe was possible. And this business that we're doing, it's based on gratitude and support. So my gratitude to Carol Lazar, who introduced me to the products, to Marci, who's always there. I spoke to Carol at 8:30 this morning because I spoke to my aunt and there was a technical thing I didn't understand, and Carol answered the phone, walked me through it, problem solved. That's the kind of support we get. And is there something, Janine, and something, Marci, you'd like to say as well? I'm just so grateful to each of you and to all of you who've watched today. Yes,
Well,
Janine.
I just wanted to thank Susan for caring enough about me, my dear friend, who took the time to pick up the phone and call me, because otherwise I never would have known about this. And, you know, so I'm just trying to share it now with my friends and family and people that I know. And sometimes there's that minute where you go, I don't know how well it's going to be received. What will they think? I don't know. But I would just say we have to kind of put our ego aside, because we want to help others. And so not to worry about, oh, how's it going to sound? Will they like it? Just share it and then let it go from there. But thank you again, Susan, I know. And thank you, Marci.
You know, I would say what I would leave with is that this is a gifting business, and this patch, which comes in this envelope, is the gift. And had I not been gifted this, I wouldn't be here today and I wouldn't be healing. So understand that this is a gift. If someone on this call has offered you the gift, just say yes. If you have people you love, make a list and offer them the gift and they will say yes. And if you decide you want to try some, they come in a supply like this of 30, and just get with the person who brought you here and say, I want to try some. And they'll tell you all the different options. And if you want to learn more, there's a wonderful website called startx39.com. And there's a 3-minute video on the stem cell patches. David, our owner, inventor, CEO, has an 18-minute video on how the technology really works and the issues it helps you with. And there's a whole bunch of research, PubMed articles, patents. We just got a 20-year patent that says this really does what it says it does, which is activate stem cells, create more stem cells, and reset your own stem cells to a younger, healthier state. Remember, it's your own. It's nobody else's. So I guess that's what I'd like to say, Susan. Thank you for asking.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. And thank you, everyone. So if you're here because Marci invited you, please ask her any questions you have. If you're here because Janine invited you, please contact Janine. And if you're here because of me, you know, there's nothing I want to do more than share this with you, answer your questions, and have you feel the way I do, that I feel literally 15 years younger. I already look about 10 years younger, and I'm not done yet. So we're going to be doing these every month, and we may be doing them every 2 weeks, because we just want the whole world to be healthy, happy, and healed. So thank you so much. Love you. Mwah.